Hi, you guys. I hope you can hear me. So, yeah, I wanted to come on and I've been trying to get this video up for a minute. Talk about, um, there was this story that was out there when Tasha K and Cardi B's case was going on, right? People were like, well, hopefully these YouTubers are going to learn, right? They're going to learn not to make up stories and so on and so forth. Um, And I think I was saying this even while we were talking about the um, the case that Tasha K was never the only person who would create a story or add their own stank onto somebody's truth. She was never the only person doing that anyway. Number one, and number two, the while the case was going on, people were saying and doing things to for as to her, right, as far as not telling the whole truth about what was said in the courtroom and so on and so forth. So I think I said that then, it's funny how people are calling this lady a liar while they are telling lies. And so it's interesting. I think that we all get that Tasha took that all the way to the end. That was a situation that she probably could have um, saved herself from going into that far, right? I think we all understand that, and I think most people would probably come to some type of agreement as far as the videos were concerned with anyone long before they can get to that point. But I just thought it was interesting that some of the same people who were doing all this big talking about her and still doing it, calling her, a liar or what have you, they kind of jump out here and do some of the same things. And so I kind of wanted to touch on some of those people. And I don't necessarily have anything against them, but I'm just saying, the whole thing with Megan the Stallion and Tory Lanez, every time they have a court date, and for whatever reasons, the court date keeps getting pushed. So you had DJ Academics jump out here, and I'm sure you guys may or may not have heard of this. I don't know, but he jumped out like the day of their court date, and it was early morning for me. I'm not sure what time it was, wherever you guys are, but it was early, kind of early morning, and I think they had to go to court on the West Coast because remember all of that happened in Los Angeles. And he started saying, "Oh, the gun prints is not Tories," and he was like breaking an exclusive story, right? Right? You guys are going to see a pattern in this. You're going to hear a pattern in this video. He was saying it like, "Oh yeah, breaking story. Fingerprints don't match that are on the gun, DNA or something." He was saying to that effect. And then Megan chimed in, and Megan said, "We haven't even the case session haven't even started yet. So how would you know this, right?" She kind of let in on him right then and there in that moment. And so he had to retract that. He took that down, and then he came back and started making it sound as if what he was saying was in fact true. Um, and she continued to challenge him because she was kind of just letting us know that the court said she wasn't even going. The fact that she could even be on her phone kind of lets you know nothing was going on, right? I think we all understand that. The fact that she was on her phone could kind of tell you that. And so a lady, a journalist, a real journalist from Rolling Stone, I believe her name is Nancy. She kind of came in and confirmed what Megan was saying, that nothing has been discussed evidence wise. The only thing that they discussed was moving the date once again, and the next date is April 5th. So that was the only discussion that went on in that session. They never discussed evidence, and so there was no way for um, academics to even know that, right? But he went on and made all these videos going in on Megan, going in on Tasha K anyway, right? To kind of just, I guess, keep people off the fact that he just was guilty of the same thing that they're accusing Tasha of, right? You're kind of trying to break exclusives, and you don't even have the facts, or you don't even care that you don't have the facts. You just want to put something out there. And so then later on in the day, it sounds, because they were going back and forth. I think I made a video about that already. Tori kind of chimed in. Then Megan's boyfriend came into the conversation as well, and said, to anything Tori had to say to direct it to him. And it just, the whole conversation went on all into the night, out into the evening, well into the evening. And of course, Academics was making videos the whole time. He was over there making videos the whole time, right? And then he started saying, well, he had enough sense to take the video down because he knew, he wasn't telling the truth at the end of the day. He just wanted to put that out there to kind of stir up, I guess, Tori's fans. And see, these people get upset, and then they go run into Megan saying all this stuff to her, and it's just, it's unfair treatment, because people have to understand this man was charged for a reason, right? LMP did not just charge him for not. Okay, they charged him for a reason. So we're not going to pretend like we don't get that. We're not going to do that over here, at least, anyway. um, and so I put the link in the comments if you guys want to come on. And so the whole thing to me, I know I started late with this. I'm just going to keep going. The whole thing to me is just kind of funny, because he kind of went on and on and on. And then he kind of tried to say stuff to Tasha, even though he knows that he was doing the same thing he accused Tasha of at the end of the day. And Megan really wanted to file a lawsuit against people defaming her by calling her a liar and saying that she's, making something up against this guy. She really could, especially by the time this case ends. She can file some paperwork on a whole lot of people, right? Because you guys are trying to call yourself journalists, or you're trying to say that you're in media, but you're not acting in a responsible manner, because no one is holding you to that, right? Like I said before, Don Lemon he's held to two standards, because he is working for CNN, right? These people that are working for these news media outlets and these studios, they're held to rules. They cannot just come out and start making up stories about people like that, and making up evidence that they don't have, and that they know no one has ever put in front of them. Um, and then as this was going on, I don't know if you guys remember, um, Jason Lee then jumped out with his own exclusive about the Queen was deceased, right? The Queen of England. And everybody's kind of looking around. I went to Daily UK because I feel like the UK would have that news right before the United States would have it. It was nothing like that on their page. I mean, nothing. The only thing that they said about her was the week earlier that she had contracted COVID. And so, quite naturally, anybody with an ounce of common sense would understand that she would have to quarantine. So, anything that she had planned, whether it was meetings or whatever, charity work, whatever, she would have to cancel that or reschedule it. I mean, that's common sense. We all know that once you contract COVID, you have to quarantine. They were saying 2 weeks. Some people say they have to do it longer, right? Just based on how long it takes for them to feel better. So this lady is 90 something years old. You think she's really going to go to somebody's wedding? Like, make it make sense, Jason. You have to make that make sense in your own mind. And so the story that I'm hearing is that somebody told him, a friend of his that lives in the UK, that she had passed away because she did not attend a wedding. Like I said, they just announced the lady had COVID the week before. She's 90 something years old. She's not going to nobody's wedding, okay, in the next week. I mean, put one and one together and it should equal two. Okay, not five. But anyway, so he kind of never retracted what he said. He kind of tried to double down on she's gone, right? And so, I think I have it in this video that I put up right here. They are saying that her social media account is still active, and that she is still, communicating. She's, of course, she cannot attend weddings and meetings in public, but she's still doing as much as she can do from home. And so she is very much still alive. So I don't know why he's doubling down on on that. He really should just apologize, right, for getting the wrong information. And I think by the time the Daily Mail got wind of him putting that out there, they were saying that some other lady that was the queen of something was called. She wasn't, she was called the queen of something. I forget what they said now, but they were saying that that's who passed away. So maybe somebody confused the information. But it sounds like somebody was saying that Jason's friend said because she had um, pulled out from their wedding, and that's why they thought that she was deceased. I don't know. It just don't make sense. I think that people are too quick to try to break stories, or they want to have exclusives. They want their name out there that they kind of came up with whatever, and they really take a lot of chances when they're doing that by doing stuff like that. And I think Roland Martin called him out, um, as well. And then I saw today on his Twitter, he was trying to say that Roland Martin is homophobic. When nothing else fails, we always run to something to blame somebody over, someone creating a story about something. So, Roland was suspended some years ago over some comments that he made over a basketball game, baseball game, or something some years ago, and he was suspended. They found his comments to be homophobic. And so Jason's trying to pull that out from the past. Um, but I think what Roland was saying was right. People have to do their research. If you want to call yourself real journalists, you want to say that you're really a part of the real media, in particular Black media, don't jump out here and do foolishness, right? You know what I mean? And I agree with him. Don't just jump out here and put anything out here. There are ways for him to verify that, I'm sure, if he wanted to try to run that story. Um, I, f- I feel like he should have been able to call somebody over there, and or even the Daily Mail, like I said, or some of their other outlets that come, the media outlets that come out of the UK. You should have been able to reach out to them to get that information. Because, like I said, those people are going to know before anybody in America would know that, right? Outside of her grandson, because, her grandson is living here, Prince Harry. And I don't see Prince Harry calling up Jason to give Jason that information. I mean, I'm just being honest about that. And so he also has some type of issue with Tasha. And so he kind of wanted to go back and forth with Tasha as well. I wanted to play a little bit on what Tasha was saying to respond. Like I said, when she gets back, fully back into the swing of what she do, she's probably going to start saying things about them as well, Jason and DJ Academics, because he was kind of going at her as well, talking about give Cardi her money so we can go spend it at the strip club and all this nonsense. But I'm going to let you guys hear what Tasha had to say about Jason and the Queen's story. Okay, that's what he said. I ain't Tasha K. I don't lie. Sticking to it. Didn't even know BuzzFeed was on the phone with my damn team. Getting the real wine. Mm-hmm. How is it that you saying you ain't Tasha K, but yet the media outlets call us for the real wine on your gastric sleeve, balls tied up and zipped up ass? When you put something out there that people done died, that's a whole nother energy. I don't do that, y'all. Y'all know I don't do that. But he's so thirsty for a story because the Kanye come up of a job ain't working. This is what he does. Now, see the difference between him and I got black folks checking me as they should. That's what y'all should do. But when them big publications, the Daily Mail and all them, start calling your ass a lie, that's a whole different story. Let me tell you how desperate he is. You didn't know that interview that he got with Kanye? That was a big deal. That was a big deal. But 6 figures, you want to pay 6 figures to get Kanye West on your platform?
Wait a minute. And my video on the verdict did 3 times better. But he's the one posting on behalf of Kanye.
This old ugly face wino is lying.
Have yet to receive confirmation.
So yeah, so they kind of going back and forth, and he's still, I don't know if he's ever apologized for even putting that story up, but he of course is ready and willing and able to attack Tasha. Now I don't know what Jace's relationship with Chelsea was and why Chelsea is now over there with Tasha. I think people were saying that, reporting that she once worked for Hollywood Unlocked, and so I don't know what happened in that relationship. So maybe it's not just Tasha, it's the Chelsea factor as well. I don't know. But yeah, I just think these people need to fact check before they put these stories out there, especially people like a Jason Lee and a DJ Academics, because um, they are like, how can I put this? They're kind of insiders, right? Even though they're not necessarily mainstream media, and they're not, well, even DJ Academics, wasn't he working for Complex at one time? I don't know if he's still on that show with Complex or not. I don't know if it's still out there. And so you do have that experience. People expect more from you than to sit out here and just kind of make up stuff, right? Or put out stuff that you haven't verified. Even, with, if the lady from Rolling Stone can go and verify that no evidence was put out there about Megan and Tori's case, then I feel like um, he should have the same ability. DJ Academics, right? He should have some type of connection somewhere, people that he can feel comfortable enough reaching out to verify information. You know, but I get the feeling that their whole thing is to try to kind of spin up this madness about Megan to make her look bad, in hopes that if there is a jury trial that they are influencing people, right? Like, this is what I was saying about that Tasha thing as well. Like, people are being influenced by the stuff that people are putting out here, so that's really why they're doing it. So he knew that what he was saying wasn't true. Okay, that's why he took it down, like within an hour or so. He took that video down, and then, I mean, tweet down, and then he started saying some other stuff. Um, the other person that I want to touch on was, and y'all know everything come out of his mouth is just lies at the end of the day anyway, and that's O'Shea Jackson. Um, according to him, Megan has been lying on, allegedly. Well, he put allegedly on there, so I guess he had enough sense to put allegedly on there, but he was just kind of trying to say, go along with that whole academic story about the DNA didn't match, right? Um, and so he created a video as well saying that Megan has been lying on Tory and trying to destroy his career and all this stuff. No, I feel like Tory has to take some form of responsibility for his actions. And I said this a long time ago. He probably would have came out better for himself and his career if he would have just told the truth, right? If he would have said, I was drunk, I was overreacting, I'm sorry. Even though obviously the lady is, I mean, that's PTSD right there. Somebody pull out a gun and start shooting at you. You're going to feel a way about them from now on. And I can't sit here and say I don't blame her um, about not wanting to talk to him or be around him, if that is in fact how she feels. So you can't force her to forgive you. You can't force her to pretend like there's still some room for a friendship when you do something like that. Like this, I'm sure this young woman saw her life flashing. Like somebody's firing a weapon that could take her life, at her. Like, are you guys crazy even to even try to make sense of that? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not playing with people with that. Nobody should be sitting out here trying to make sense of stuff like that. He needs to take full responsibility for what he know he was in that truck doing. Um, like I said, the gun is registered to him. That was his truck. He has security in the truck. There was just absolutely no reason for any of that to take place outside of the fact that they probably were drinking. And that's what I think. I think that alcohol was playing a part in that as well. And that's why I'm saying he probably would have came out better, fared better if he would have just told the truth, owned up to that situation, and maybe look at almost all this time that has gone by. She probably would have, because she was already saying that I was just trying to protect him. I didn't want him to get hurt. Like for somebody to say that, for them to be, you'd have done something like that to them, and they still trying to protect you. It's just I think he took the wrong route. He really took the wrong route. And that's just my opinion. I felt like he would have done better by trying to stay on the right side of Megan in that. But, it's gonna play out how it's gonna play out. But I think that these guys that are jumping out here lying for this guy, you people need to, take note of the type of stuff that they're doing. And O'Shea Du Jackson should go on that list because he, of course, made a video saying that she was lying on Tori, but he, of course, put through that word allegedly in there. So, and I've already told you guys, some of these guys on YouTube, you can't take nothing that they say. And then he will try to pass himself off as a jokester or a comedian when he's saying stuff. I'm gonna play a little bit of what he had to say.
To be sued. She needs to be sued for a lot of money, for a lot of stuff. Because what I'm telling you, man, it's just not right. It's just not cool, bro. Oh, and like what I'm saying right now, and I can tell let me just say this. There are a lot of guys, all right? Believe it or not, there are a lot of guys who are leaving the United States. Okay? Listen to what I'm saying. They're going to Colombia. They're going wherever they're. And sometimes, those guys have bad reputation. I can tell you why one of the reasons why they want to go over there is so they don't have to deal with stuff like this. Somebody just blatantly lying on you, saying that you did something that you clearly did not do. All right? Clearly, friends, so they're trying to get you back because they're vindictive. Just to say something to ruin your reputation. And they can do it because they can get away with it. And I want to tell you like this. This goes back to the heart of what the manosphere community is about, both black and white. The manosphere community is about, hey, there are unequal situations that are prejudiced against men in America. And whenever a woman can levy something against you, it's automatically assumed to be true. And you're guilty before proving you're innocent. And even after you prove your innocence, people still call you guilty and your career is tarnished. Once you get that, claim that you're a woman beater or you're an abuser, even if you get cleared, your reputation is still tarnished. You're still tainted. Nobody, people don't come out and say sorry for dragging you, sorry for helping you lose that deal. Nobody will go back and be like, you know what? Brother, we're going to go ahead and help you get the money that we owe you. No. It's just the situation that happens. All right? That's what I'm saying. And this is the reason that, this is the reason that I'm talking to you guys about this. That's why men have to help each other. Men don't have to be jealous of each other. Because listen, if you don't have no communities to come to, especially if you're black. Nobody will reach out to you and help you do anything. That's why having relationships with men is important, guys. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy. Oh.
So yeah, so you hear what he's saying, right? He's making it sound as if she's lying on him and she's destroying his career. I don't think she's lying on him. And yeah, he is innocent until proven guilty, but the story is kind of laid out there, right? Like I said, the truck was his, the gun is his. He had security in the truck. She was trying to get out. There are witnesses. The lady went to the hospital. Clearly, somebody fired a firearm a gun at her. So who else was there? Like, for real, for real. So I don't know why these guys do this. Why they sit out here and try to act as if somebody's doing something to Tori. Tori should take responsibility for what happened that night. Is what should happen, if anything. And you guys trying to somehow tarnish her career, and she was the one that was harmed. Okay, is not okay either. For it, but he will still try to word that like that, and this is how he ended the video. So do it sound like a joke to you guys? But see, that's what I'm saying. These people are saying all this stuff about Tasha, but then they sit and do the same stuff all the time. She was never alone in putting her own stank on people's stories. Okay, because you clearly just can hear O'Shea doing that to that whole Tory and Megan situation. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, people should do better at the way they put stories out here, and not just say anything just to put a video together. You can verify some of the stuff that you're saying before you say it. And if you don't know the evidence of the case, you don't know what the outcome is going to be, why are you out here saying that she's trying to ruin somebody's career? We all understand this situation happened. We actually saw some of it play out on the news, right? So how could you sit there and say that she intentionally tried to do something to this guy, and he's not supposed to take any form of responsibility for his own actions? Like, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to come and touch on that. I can tell you, I can see the whole saga between Tasha and Jason and Storm. And I understand he has issues with Storm because Storm called him the Pillsbury Doughboy before he lost all his weight. Um, because he was making colorist statements against OG from Basketball Wives. And so Storm stepped up and defended her. And now he's upset with Storm because Storm was going in on him, right? And so I guess he's mad at Storm. He was trying to say Storm is still hired, say all the stuff about all the regular stuff people say about Storm. He's not giving out any new information. But now that he's lost weight, he feels that he can call Storm fat. I don't really feel like Storm is fat, though. I mean, whatever. But uh, um, now that he's lost weight, he wants to call Storm all kind of names and stuff, and that's kind of what he was doing in the video. And I don't know. I feel like I said, if people want to be real media, they need to act like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about what I'm saying in this video. What you think about all the stories that, when was this, last week? All these stories that kind of, and it was kind of weird how a lot of this stuff was happening back to back to back, right? Like the whole Megan and Stallion thing, and then Jason with the Queen jumped off. And I think the story, because Tasha had broke the story about the FTN Bay young lady who is saying that her son was abused. Um, she was saying that her son was abused, and so the girl was arrested. I think Thursday or Thursday. I believe it was Thursday or Friday for stalking. Duty Low. I think that's his name. Which is unfortunate when you get in these relationships, man. You have to really know who you get involved with, and that's for men and women, right? You really do. I don't really know what else to say about that one. And so Tasha was talking about that as well, because she had interviewed him, and so I guess to be fair, she also interviewed her, but she is trying to maintain that story that he harmed her son, But the paper, I was reading the court papers as well, and it clearly states that he was the charges was dropped because there was no evidence that anything like that took place, and that even the little boy said that the mother was telling him to say that, which is sad. And he was put in that position. Exploiting your child like that is stuff like that is horrible. Um, so that's why the police dropped it. So I don't know why she's still trying to go after this guy. She might want to leave him alone, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that as well. So Tasha was kind of just she was touching on that, on the fact that the young lady was arrested, but she was released because I saw the video as well when she said that she was released a couple hours later on bail. But I don't know. When people want to act like they're real journalists, they want to act like they're in the real media, they need to do their research and they need to have some integrity with the stuff that they're putting out here. And I think all the name calling and all the other stuff that go on between these YouTubers, that they need to bring that down too, because I don't know how you expect people to respect what you have to say when you're using colorism to charge. You're using all this isms to lead the way with stuff that you're reporting on. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. The other thing that I want to touch on, since I am live, I was going to go on live in a separate video, but since I'm here, I wanted to kind of touch on everything, well, real briefly. I don't really want to say a whole lot about the African students that were stuck in Ukraine. To my understanding, now there's a ton of videos on Twitter, but then there are people who are trying to come and say, oh, that's not true, Ukraine is helping everybody get out, right? And I think that they understand that, when you start saying some of this stuff, then Black people in other parts of the world, we're going to hear all of this stuff, right? And we may start feeling a way about it. I guess that's what they're thinking. So they're trying to say that it's not true, that they are, in fact, helping everyone get out. But I saw the videos myself where they were arm locking and pushing the Black people to the back. And so some people were saying, well, why is it fair for them to help people who are not citizens of this country get out before the actual citizens? No, it should be a first come, first serve, and it should have been women and children, regardless of race and who is a citizen and who's not a citizen. Everybody should be able to get out. If those women and children had already been standing there for 2 days, and there was a lady out there with a 2-month-old baby, why is she still out there? Stuff like that just kind of pisses you off when people just you got people out here acting like you're some type of damn victim while you're sitting over there being racist as hell. Like, no, I'm sorry. But there is a young man who went live. I wanted to play his video. He is saying that they are now being moved to shelters, and that the ambassadors from the Nigerian ambassador is coming into the shelters wherever they are in Poland and checking on them. Because I think what I was reading is that the Africans, the Nigerians, mainly it's a lot of Nigerians and people from Ghana who went to Ukraine to go to medical school or engineering. They're saying it's just cheaper to go to school there. That's why they went there. Me, I don't understand, because we have been hearing about this war stuff for the past 2 weeks, right? I don't know what their media is like over there, or if they have access to media, why they didn't know that this was coming. That part I don't understand, because they definitely should have started getting up out of there long before it got to this point. Because now this man is talking about nuclear, he's thinking about using bombs and stuff. And so, that's really sad when you're thinking that it's women and children that are being told, no, you can't leave because of your race. And this is not, it is not their war, first of all. Like I said, if you're trying to say that they should just stay there because the citizens should get out first, that doesn't make sense what you're saying. Like I said, it should have been a first come, first serve. And if you're saying women and children, that meant every woman and child should have been taken out of there. A 2-month-year-old baby shouldn't be sitting out in cold weather for days. And you can't really explain why they're there. But yeah, I'm gonna play what he has to say, and then I'm gonna leave. You guys can let me know what you think about all these stories in the comments.
All right, everyone. So today is. All right, everyone. So today is 27th of February 2022, and we are at the Border Guard shelter. We want to very quickly explain to you how things are working. So usually, from what we understand, once you leave the Ukrainian part of the border, that's where usually you might be there for even 24 hours. But once you cross that Ukrainian border, you get to the Polish part, yeah. But I think it's important to say that from what we know, they are attending first to women and children and all of that. So that might delay the time of staying at the border. But immediately they clear you at that Ukrainian border, you get into the Polish border. When you get to the Polish border, there's also another queue, you know, but definitely it can take 12 hours, 24 hours or more. They will attend to you. Once they stamp you, they'll put a stamp on your passport with an arrow and the date. With that stamp, you go out and there's a bus. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So there's a bus waiting to take you to the shelter. Now the shelter, now as you can see, a lot of people, there is almost everything you need here. There is food, there is water, drinks, you know, kitchen, medication, ambulance, help, medical service. So this is where we are now, you see. So once you get to this place, you will get help. There are volunteers around. You see people with the green jackets. Just ask them a question. They speak English. They will help you. We are also here. You know, the Nigerian embassy also, they are coming here every day to up. So it's very comfortable. It's very easy. You can't be stranded. There are also volunteers that are willing to take you to Warsaw, to Krakow, wherever you want to go. But it's important you work in group, you move in groups with your friends, and you will be fine. Once you get to Warsaw, we are there to also assist you with accommodation. The Nigerian embassy also is there to assist with accommodation. So that's what is going on here. Is there anything more that we need to tell people? I think that's it majorly.
Yeah, there is some bus provided by the government authorities. They are still bringing more people.
More people.
Now you can see even from the
So there, once they bring in the bus, people come and they just they bring them here. So the bus is usually red with a blue light on top of it, waiting at the border guard once the Polish border sign you in. And with that, you can come into the shelter where you can now find help, because nobody can get to the border. I repeat, nobody can get to the border. This is where anybody can help, okay? So guys, from us, so there are a lot of people here that, you know, we are trying to arrange for their transportation, as you see behind me, okay?